Hello and welcome back to our virtual classroom. My name is Teacher Bry. How are you? I hope you're doing well and just continue to stay home to be safe. So today we have a new lesson and it will be from our Reading for Comprehension book. It's a red book and it's full of stories where you can learn something new. At the same time, it can help you how to understand stories more and build your vocabularies better. So the next time you read other stories and the next time you read stories in the exam, it will be easier for you to answer them. So what do you think is our story for today? Without further ado, let's get here. All right. So, do you know who is this woman in the picture? I'm sure you do because it's written here. It's Hillary Clinton. So, do you know who Hillary Clinton is? Some of you knew it. She is the wife of the former president of the United States of America. So, former president meaning he was the president a long time ago and he is no longer the president right now. So let's read her quote here. The First Lady role is really difficult. It has no job description. You have to create it for yourself. After this lesson, we will find out what she meant by saying really difficult, what she meant by saying no job description, and what she meant by saying you have to create or make it yourself. What is job description? Job description means what you have to do in your job. For example, as a nurse, the job description of a nurse is to take care of the patient in the hospital. But for First Lady, Hillary Clinton said it has no job description. It doesn't say what you have to do. And you have to make it yourself. What does she mean by that? Now let's discover by reading the story. So if you can see, what's the title of our story? What is the First Lady's job? So if you can see here the picture, do you know anybody here? Okay, so this is Barack Obama with Michelle and their two kids. Of course, Donald Trump and Melania. And this one is? No idea? I think he's in the slides later, so I will tell you later. So read this. What is the title of our story today? What is the First Lady's job? By hearing the title, what comes into your mind right now? So in your notebook, I want you to copy this table, put KWL chart, write your name, the title of the story, and the date today. So the title of our story is What is the First Lady's Job? And put 3 columns, what I know, what I want to learn, and what I have learned. So this is our KW chart because K for know, W for want, and L for learned. I'll give you 2 minutes to write this, to copy the chart, and you can pause if you needed more time. Okay, now that you're done, what I want you to do is to fill out the information for each column. So what I know, by hearing the title, what is the First Lady's job? Write all the things that you know by just reading that title. Anything that comes into your mind. I will not tell you what that is. I don't want to influence you. So the moment you heard and you saw that picture, what is the First Lady's job? Write everything there. Okay? And listen first to all instructions on what to do, and then I'll give you time later to fill out the chart. So for the second column, what I want to learn, after you know what you know, or what you think you know, write here what are the things that you want to know more. What are the things that you want to learn? And the third one, what I have learned, You will fill this out later after we finish the story. Look at the things that you know, look at the things that you learned, and you're gonna like what you learned. I'll explain more about the third column later, but for now, I'll give you 5 minutes to fill out the things that you know and the things that you want to learn. Go! All right, very good. So you have finished the 2 columns of your KW chart, and then we will go and fill out the 3rd column later after we finish the story. Now, we're gonna go to the story. Are you ready? All set? You bet. Before starting, let's have this simple discussion first. What's the First Lady's job? So what is the First Lady? The First Lady is the wife of the President. Question, who is the wife of your father? Of course, your mom. Who is the wife of your grandfather? Right, your grandmother. So the wife of the President is called the First Lady. Let's have some examples here. So this is Mr. Panda. And this is Miss Elephant. So Mr. Panda married Miss Elephant. So Miss Elephant is the wife of Mr. Panda. Very good. Then, 5 years later, Mr. Panda became the president. So now, Miss Elephant is called the First Lady. Exactly. All right? So First Ladies are the wives of the president. And like the president, she has to do a lot of work. What work? We will know in a while. So this one is Melania Trump, the wife of Donald Trump, who's currently the president of the United States. So who is the First Lady of the United States right now? You're right. So that's Melania Trump. So we mentioned the United States. So the United States is a country. It's also called America. The United States, the United States of America, USA, or states. These are all the names of USA. And it's a country south of Canada. So south means up, down, left, or right. South is below, okay? So that's below the south of Canada or below of Canada. It has 50 states. So here, Changwat, 50 Changwat. In Thailand, we call provinces Changwat or provinces. But in the United States, they call it states, and they have 50 of that. Do you know any of the states in America? New York City is a city in New York State, right? So that's New York State. California is a state, correct? What else? New Jersey, South Carolina, very good, and 50 other. Oh, Alaska, you're also correct. And actually, the United States is the 4th largest or biggest country in the world. Do you know what are the 3 other larger countries? That's for you to find out. Go to Google. Okay, so we can see the Statue of Liberty in the United States, and of course, Hollywood. Hollywood is in what state? California. You're right. So moving on, the White House. Is that the White House in Chiang Mai, like the White House in Chiang Mai? No, it's not. It's where the president and his family live. So it means that's their home. So White House is the home of the president and his family. Where is the White House? So the White House is in Washington, D.C. D.C. or District of Columbia. Very good. How did you know that? This is how it looks like inside. And here are some of the presidents with their first ladies. So this is Eleanor Roosevelt, the First Lady of Roosevelt. Abigail Adams, the First Lady of President Adams. Hillary Clinton, the First Lady of President Clinton. Of course, Michelle Obama, and Jackie Kennedy, the wife of former President Kennedy. I will tell you all their names later in the story. And of course, in Thailand, our First Lady here is Narapon Chanocha, the wife of our Prime Minister. So the First Lady educates children, gives speeches, visit countries around the world, and meet important people. Can we repeat it? Educate children, give speeches, visit countries around the world, and meet important people. So let's try to understand the new words that we will read in the story. So I will read to you first the words on the left, and I will read to you the meanings on the right, and I'll give you 5 items. I'll give you 3 minutes to choose the meaning of our new words, okay? But I'll read it to you first. Paying job, precedent, to run something, important, care for, to take care of something, someone who has the highest position, to manage something like a business or activities, a job that pays money, having power or influence. Now, I'll give you 3 seconds to answer that. Now, let's check if your answers are correct. Paying job means a job that pays money. So if you work on something and people pay you, that's a paying job. For example, I'm teaching English, and teaching is a paying job because I get money from it. If you're doing something and people don't pay you, then that is not a paying job. President, someone who has the highest position. So it could be the president of a country, the president of an organization, or even your classroom leader or your classroom president. Number 3, to run something, meaning to manage something like a business or activity. So for example, I run a restaurant. So it means I manage a restaurant. I run a department store. So it means I manage a department store. Or I can also say I run an event, which means I manage an event like running. So I run a running event. I manage a running event. Number 4, important, having power or influence. So if you're an important person, you have power, you have influence. Our teachers there will help you give the Thai meaning of influence. Number 5, care for, of course, it's obvious, to take care of something. So here we have it, our new words, and then we will now go and read our story. I'm gonna move here. What is the First Lady's job? So you have to repeat after me. After Teacher Bry, you're gonna read it as well, okay? So what is the First Lady's job? The First Lady does not have a paying job. She is a wife of the President of the United States. But First Ladies work hard. They greet important people. They help people learn to read or care for those who are sick. Very good. I have a few questions before we go to the next slide. Does the First Lady get money for working as a First Lady? Yes or no? No, right, because it says here the First Lady does not have a paying job. Question. Do First Ladies go to schools and teach the students? Yes, that could be correct because it says here they help people learn to read. Okay, let's move on. Abigail Adams was one of the earliest and busiest First Ladies. She often worked with her husband John. In fact, many people thought she did too much. Sometimes she seemed to be running the country. Very good. Now, questions. Who, who was the President of the United States when Abigail Adams was the First Lady? That's correct. John Adams. Very good. Why did some people think that she was working very hard? Right, it says here because sometimes she seemed to be running the country or manage the country. Next slide. Another famous First Lady was Eleanor Roosevelt. Her husband Franklin couldn't walk. So Mrs. Roosevelt traveled around the country for him. Good. Question. What is the last name of Franklin? What is the last name of Franklin? Correct. Of course, Roosevelt, because Eleanor was his wife. So Franklin Roosevelt. Very good. Next slide. She talked to everyone. Then she went back to the White House. She told President Roosevelt what people were thinking and what they were worried about. Very good. Now, question. Where is the home of Eleanor and Franklin? Where's their home? Correct. The White House, because she went back to the White House where Franklin was staying because he cannot walk. That's correct. Next slide. Mrs. Roosevelt also tried to make life better for America's poor people. Very good. No question. The people of the United States don't choose their First Lady. She gets the job if her husband becomes president. Americans are lucky to have had so many hardworking women in the White House. Very good. Question. Can you apply to be the First Lady of the United States? No, you can't. So how can you become the first lady? Right, only if your husband becomes the president. Can you remember our story with Mr. Panda and Mrs. Elephant? So Mrs. Elephant can only become the first lady if Mr. Panda becomes the president. All right, so let's have some exercise. I'm going to have questions and I'll give you 1 minute to answer. The article does not tell. I won't read to you the choices, so read it yourself. And after this, I will show you the article because you still don't have the book. You can pause if you needed more time to find the answer. Number 2, which word in paragraph 1 means welcome someone in a friendly way? 1 minute. And here's the paragraph, or here's the story. Number 3, which paragraph talks about Eleanor Roosevelt? 1, 2, 3, 4, easy to remember. I'll show you the paragraph. I'll give you 1 to 3 minutes to read through and look for the answer. If you forgot the question, you can just go back, drag a bit so you can go back and check the question again. Number 4, the article does not say, but you can decide that first ladies all right. Number 5, running can have many meanings. Which meaning is used in paragraph 2? You can pause if you need more time to read the questions. And you can also pause if you need more time to look for the answer. Before I'll okay. Now, let's reveal the answers. Are you ready? Check your work if how many correct answers have you got. There you go. All right, so next up, we're going to have a short exercise to review on how you manage to remember and understand our new words or the new vocabularies. Are you ready for that? Here we go. Sarah loved her work at the museum, but it's not a toot, so she also works at the restaurant. A, B, C, or D? Ready? Correct answer? C, paying job. So she doesn't get money working at the museum. That's why she still works at the restaurant. Very good. Number 2. My grandmother is very sick. She lives with my family, so we can toot her. A, B, C, D. Go. Correct answer? We can care for her or we can take care of her. So it's letter B. Did you get the correct answer? Very good. Let's try number 3. My parents toot their own business. A, B, C, D. My parents run. My parents paying job. My parents president. My parents important. Correct answer? run or manage. My parents run, my parents manage, my parents take care their own business. Let's go to number 4. Sam is our class toot. He acts like he is the boss of everyone. A, B, C, D. I think this is very easy. Correct answer, class president. D. Last number. The first lady is a very toot person because she helps poor and sick people and travels around the country. A, B, C, D. Time is up. She's a very important person. Okay, so who among you got 5 points? Well, good job. It means you really remembered and understood our new vocabularies for today. All right, so now please take out your KWL chart. You got it? Now, go to What I Know column. Then put a check on each sentence that is correct after you have read the story. So for example, you put there, every country has a first lady. Is that correct? So if it's not, then you can put X because not every country has a first lady. Other countries have a queen. Just like Saudi Arabia, they have a queen. But some countries have both first lady and the queen. Just like Thailand, we both have a first lady and the queen. If you wrote there, the first lady is the wife of a president, then that's correct, so you can put a check on that. Now, let's go to the second column, what I want to learn. Did the story answer your thoughts or your questions on the things that you want to learn? For example, did you write there, I want to know if the United States have a first lady, or how many first ladies did the United States already have? Did the story answer those questions? If yes, put a check. If not, put an X. Now let's go to the third column, what I have learned. So after looking at the first and second column, what are the things that you have learned about the first lady or about the story? Then please write them all here on the third column. I'll give you around 5 minutes to do that. You can pause this video for 5 minutes so you can or more, so you can have time to write your answers. Okay, so very good job for finishing your KWL chart. If you have questions, then you can ask our teacher who is there with you right now. So that's our story for today. What is the first lady's job? And I'm sure you can answer that question. What is the first lady's job? She doesn't get paid. She helps the poor and the sick, and she helps people to learn to read. That's correct. She gives speeches and meets important people. And we have also learned a part of the lives of a few first ladies of the United States. So I hope you learned something new today, and I hope our story has given you new vocabularies and new words that you can use in your everyday conversation. I'm gonna see you again next time. My name is Teacher Bri. Have a good day. Bye. See you later.